The following program is an opinion program. The opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of this program are not the opinions of the management, staff, and advertisers of this station. Please direct all criticism, concern, and adulation to the hosts of this program.
Welcome to Alabama Politics. This week, I am Dale Jackson. I'm a radio talk show host. You can hear my show from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. on WVNN. And you can hear me all over the state on all the various streaming apps and online anywhere at the Dale Jackson on any social media and things like that. With me, as always, Mecca Musick, the CEO of 256today.com, smart news for smart people. And before we get started, Mecca, I want to talk about my lovely wife and all the great stuff her coworkers did. They have finally named the helicopter that will be replacing the Black Hawk. They named it after a George Strait song.
That's not, I do love that song, yeah, but that's not correct.
Is that not correct?
That is a little bit incorrect.
No, I love you, baby. Hurry, I can still make Cheyenne. Yeah, it's named after that, so I don't know what you're talking
about. So we are talking about this Cheyenne. They just released the name for it. This program, this entire program, is managed by your wonderful wife and many others.
She's not managed by the whole thing. She doesn't manage the whole thing.
Okay, now I said, and many others
right.
From here in Alabama. It's fantastic. There was some debate if it would continue the naming tradition after Indian tribes. They had a naming ceremony. They had the tribe there, and it was
great.
Fantastic.
Cheyenne's a great name for it.
And this assault aircraft, as they're calling it, they don't call
it's
it.
Awesome. The thing looks amazing. Go look it up. Also, George Strait will fly the first one. All right, we got a lot to get into today. I've got a party shot for you. We've got John Merrill will be joining us, the former Secretary of State. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let's get to the 2-minute warning. All right, let's talk about Iran. Blockades, not a good idea if you're Iran. Blockades of the blockade. Now, that's where the answer apparently lies in all of this. It appears, and towards the end of the week, the markets were saying, hey, we like this. It looks like we're trending in the direction of this thing being over, at least the actual fighting. And it looks like things are moving in the right direction. Now, there has been some talk about Iran apparently blockading the blockade, but then we just blockade their blockade of our blockade, which is a blockade of their blockade, and it would totally be over at that situation. I got to tell you this. The people who suggested this was like a stalemate or there was something going on here where America was going to be thwarted in their goals here, I don't think they ever really believe that stuff. I don't know how they're going to handle this moving forward. I think it's more of a political gain in the moment, and you just deal later on with the whole thing that went on. I think we're nearing the end of this after about 6-7 weeks.
Well, I mean, and peace talks are underway again. And you mentioned the blockade. I'm not sure if you saw Hexas briefing, but I found it very interesting. Obviously, very strong words. It's him, make a wise choice around all that. But it's only 10% of the Navy forces have been involved in this.
Yeah, there's not all the navies of the rest of the world could not combat our Navy. I mean, it's just that simple. China has a paper tiger Navy. Everybody knows that. But they do have what looks like a little scary Navy, but nobody believes it. I mean, nobody believes it.
Because they sink a lot?
Well, it's not only that, but they're worried about trying to get across into Taiwan. Okay? I mean, they got that little issue to deal with. And we are a much bigger force that, as we're showing, can move across the entire world. So the blockade has done a couple of things. One, it has allowed some ships to transit that are not related to Iran. Also, you've seen a bunch of ships coming into the United States to get oil and things along that nature. I mean, this has reset the entire world order. And that's been Donald Trump's entire goal from the beginning of his presidency is to reset the world order on trade, on foreign policy, on everything. This is a big piece.
And talking about oil, they did expect price per gallon to come down back down to $3 to continue trending downwards, and they expect it, or the administration expects it by summer.
Yeah, I think that's where this is going. Especially once this whole thing is said and done. All right, let's talk about Montgomery, Huntsville. There was a bill that would have taken both of these cities and put them under a law that says you have to have X amount of police officers for every 100,000 citizens. And I will tell you, I liked it. I'm for it, especially because it appeared that mostly what your issue was Montgomery not having enough police officers, and they need to hire people and get them in. Now, I've heard rumblings, and there were a couple of things that came out of this. One of the rumblings was people were very upset that the legislature was going to tell black officials in Montgomery how to run their city. Now, Huntsville was involved as well, and if people don't know, Tommy Battle, notoriously white. If you may not know that. So I don't really think that was the issue. The actual issue, from what I'm understanding, may have been some Huntsville legislators not happy to be lumped into this. That could have potentially been a bigger issue here.
Notoriously white.
I mean,
Okay.
they were the ones suggesting that this was about race. I'm just throwing it out there.
So, but under the proposal, Huntsville had already met those standards. But
For now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the extreme growth rate that is happening, not only in Huntsville, but the surrounding areas, but mainly just for this bill, with Huntsville. And obviously there was some pushback, not just from leaders in Montgomery, but like you said.
Huntsville. The problem, I think, as I understand, is they were worried about being put under the thumb of Montgomery. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe 20 years from now, and what that looks like when you have, like, I don't know, a Walt Maddox as governor or something along those lines. When you look at this in a very different way, they didn't want that dangling over them, and that was that.
So do you agree with that? Because, like you said, you thought this was a good bill.
No, I don't agree with it. I think I think we have to understand you need a certain amount of policing, but this is a response not to Huntsville; it's a response to Montgomery, and it's basically saying you need to try to enforce the law. Now we've missed a point here, and we haven't even talked about it. Tommy Tuberville says, "Look, I'm going to fix it." Now, he also made a statement about how the animals can't run the zoo, and he's going to get a little heat for that, even though we all know there's nothing that he means by that, but he is going to get heat by that. Tuberville's making it very clear. If I'm governor, this is not going to happen. Talk of National Guard and stuff like that. Does he actually do it?
You've said no many times on this show, but I'm guessing that you're
I don't
pulling
know.
back from that?
He's talking so much about it. He is talking so much about it. If I'm Montgomery, I start worrying about Tommy Tuberville becoming governor. And I started thinking, how do I do this? But I should be doing that anyway. You know, we learned from Memphis and D.C. and all these other places, there is one way to do this. And it's a lesson I give my kid all the time. I said, you know what you should do? And he says, what, Dad? You're the best. And I say to him, I said, you should try. Like, that's it. You should try. All they have to do is try, and it will work. And for some reason, they don't want to do that. Then he tells me I'm the best again. All right, moving on. Let's talk about this Lomax-Brooks race. U.S. That's not right either. State Representative James Lomax is running for re-election against a guy who has been in Congress, been a county commissioner, been a DA, and held this exact same seat in the Alabama legislature like 642 years ago. Former Congressman Mo Brooks. Now, this race is going to be nasty.
It's getting there.
It's already there.
Yeah.
The ads, and I'm going to continue repeating this until I'm blue in the face. By the time the United States Senate race was over last time, if you didn't know Mo Brooks, and I knew him very, very closely, he kept me out of jail. There's a whole story to this whole thing.
I know.
And I was wrongly accused. But the simple fact of the matter is, I would have thought, I even started to think that he was a pro-tax guy. He wanted to bring ISIS in with illegal immigrants to give them all abortions and all these other things. It was just crazy stuff. But do you know where that didn't work? That district. Mo Brooks beat Katie Britt in that district, even after they spent all that money on it. This is a rehash of that same thing. And I don't think it's going to be very effective. Plus, this is a compliment I'm about to give here.
Oh, gosh.
Mo Brooks is an assassin. I mean, that's really what he is. You've sat with Mo Brooks when he's got to go. Probably has a book of stuff he's going to bring up. And
he does.
Yeah, no,
I talked to him this morning, and the follow-up information I have received is massive.
This is not a criticism. This is a compliment.
No, he's very thorough, and he is very smart.
Ultra prepared.
Yes.
All this stuff. And he's a fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's as simple as it is. He is a fighter. So big money is going to come in. It's already come in, gambling and all stuff. And I hate to say this, because I like James Lomax personally. He's been on this program a lot. This is not about James Lomax.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that for me.
Lomax.
No. I'm not saying that for me. For the people giving me the money, that's not about James Lomax.
Right.
That is about Nathaniel Ledbetter, the Speaker of the House,
because
and his incumbent protection program.
Exactly.
And Lomax can lose, and Ledbetter can still go to the other members of the legislature and go, look, even if you get sideways, I'm going to try to help you. And that's going to be a super effective thing. So that's really what it all is. John Merrill's nodding that I'm right, and I know that I am. So we'll talk about that with him here in just a little bit. That worst race or best race out there?
Oh, gosh, there's so many great races right now.
This one is either the worst or the best, and they could be the same. All right, moving on. Let's talk a little bit about some other races that are out there. I'm not convinced this United States Senate race is even a race. I know nobody wants to believe. I know you don't want to believe me. Nobody wants to believe me, but I'm telling you this: Barry Moore is probably going to be your next United States Senator. That endorsement of Trump did two things. One, it helped him get money and get endorsements. Two, it turned the spigots off for everybody else. That's generally going to be it. Now, Jared Hudson's raised some money. Rodney Walker, who nobody knows, has raised some money. But you know who hasn't been really raising a lot of money for this? Steve Marshall. It's turned the spigots off. So you got the incumbent guys, the lined up, I don't even want to say establishment guys, but if you were going to look at this race, Moore and Marshall, Moore's getting all that money. And Marshall, the money's been turned off for him. So I think that race is over. We can talk about Lieutenant Governor in a second, but I think that race is over.
But no. We're just going to segue right into it because you're talking about the Trump endorsement for Moore being, that side of the race. I believe that race is still wide open. Second of all, though, in the Lieutenant Governor's race, I haven't seen a huge jump in Wall's support from that endorsement.
Yeah, I think it's undecided's winning. And undecided can't hold all these positions.
You're putting all this weight on the Trump endorsement, and I'm not saying it's not important. It definitely, like you said, boosted.
If you haven't made your decision yet, what's going to change your mind?
Someone
telling you repeatedly that Donald Trump endorsed him.
Well, and that's another thing. He needs to get that message over and over again.
It's starting to come.
Over and over again. But let's look at the Lieutenant Governor's race. I haven't seen a significant bump in those numbers because of that endorsement.
Yeah, not yet. It's coming.
You think so?
No one's really running ads in that race yet. But that is coming. I mean, a flood is coming. Okay, and you're going to see it, and it's going to happen, and that's going to matter a lot. And people can think that it shouldn't.
So are both of these headed to a runoff?
The Lieutenant Governor's race, maybe. I don't know. I think the Senate race is probably more likely because there are more legitimate players in the race. I think it's very possible that Wall blows that out. I think it's possible. Again, go look at the money. When you get it done. When you don't, you have problems raising it. Once you get that endorsement, you want that endorsement. If the other person gets it, you know it's a problem.
So does the money then matter in the House District 20 race with Lomax and Brooks?
That's a little different. Again,
I'm just using your words in your logic.
And I'm going to tell you why it doesn't matter. You're dealing with a different entity. Those people have voted for Mo Brooks 18 different times.
And he's won.
And he lives there, and he's from there, and it's a couple thousand people. I mean, it really is. You've got to remember this. Again, I think that race is about Ledbetter saying, I got my boys back. I think that's what that is. All right, let's take a quick time out. John Merrill's going to come on in just a bit and tell me how right I am. So keep it locked right here on Alabama Politics This Week.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Sector anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
You work hard to earn little escapes because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. And my friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom, Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Is your garage door unreliable? Is it making weird noises? It may be trying to tell you something. At Elite Door Service, we speak garage door. Simply give us a call or scan this QR code. We'll come out for free and take a look and a listen and give you trustworthy guidance. We can fix it, set you up with a new one, or let you know if we should all run for cover. Elite Door Service LLC, serving all of North Alabama.
Scout Pest Control is locally owned and operated. We offer superb customer service and can even clean up after pests. When you think pest control, think Scout. Call us 256-216-1088 or visit scoutpestcontrol.com.
Have your car insurance rates skyrocketed? We can help and do free research and find the best rates and discounts to lower your car insurance. There are tons of ways to lower your car insurance, and we know how to find them. And right now is the best time to find every savings possible to help you lower your payment. It's so easy to switch your insurance to a newer plan with a lower rate with one fast phone call. We shop the top-rated companies for you and get the best rates and discounts, saving you money. Plus, did you know you can bundle your homeowner's insurance with your car and save even more? And that's just one of the many discounts available. Call right now. The call is free, our help is free, the savings and discounts are real and yours. Compare dozens of top car insurance deals and more with one free, no-pressure call.
Call 855-680-3016. That's 855-680-3016. Again, 855-680-3016. Call now.
Listen, if we even think you owe us money, you won't know what to. We'll put liens on everything you own. Raid your bank accounts, retirement fund, pension. You'll open up your paycheck and cry because we'll already have the money. We'll haul you into federal court and you might even go to jail. Hey, it's our job.
Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. Our experts will fight for you using IRS guidelines to stop any IRS actions like bank levies or wage garnishments. Plus, eliminate penalties and interest and reduce your past tax bill so you pay the IRS less. Help is here to deal with the IRS to reduce your stress. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a tax doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
I'd have my mom call the number on the screen. You come see me alone. We'll work it out. Really, we will.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. With me, as always, Mecca Musick.
And this week we have former Secretary of State John Merrill here to join us. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, I'm delighted to be your guest.
We were just talking about a few races happening in the state. Now, if I remember correctly, there was a lot of chatter, a lot of rumors that you were going to run for Lieutenant Governor's race, and that is arguably one of the most exciting, in the state. As you've seen how this race has played out, you didn't run for it. What is your opinion of this race?
There's a number of things that I think are up in the air about this particular race, and Dale touched on one of those that's really, to me, the most important, and that's the fact that the president has chosen his candidate, and that's former ALGOP Chairman John Wall. When that really starts to resonate with people, it's going to make a major difference in our state on perception, on leadership, and on the president's involvement. It will change the dynamics of the race. I think that Secretary Wes Allen should be very concerned that he's been in this race for almost 2 years now, and he's still at the low 20s, the mid 20s as far as his percentage is concerned. And that does not even depend on how many people are in the race. He's been there from the get-go.
Let me ask you something. You brought it up something, and you mentioned Wall and you mentioned Allen. I don't think we mentioned their names at all. Same thing with the Senate race. We didn't really talk about those candidates' names either.
Actually.
You know who we talked about? Donald Trump.
The president.
That's it. So my premise is that the Trump endorsement is always important, more so because of the money that comes with it. Maybe equally, you tell me, turning off the spigot for everybody else.
There's no doubt about it, and you've seen that in that Senate race more than you have any other race in the state. And that has really been a very interesting factor, especially when it comes to Steve Marshall having been the Attorney General for 10 years for our state.
Is Hudson a legitimate player, Jared Hudson, in that race?
I think he is a legitimate player because as you look at the percentages, he has continued to grow every time there's been a new poll introduced, and that's been a benefit to him in his candidacy. And if he can continue to attract those resources from other areas besides the natural Trump supporters or people in Alabama, then he will have a legitimate shot to make the runoff.
Do you wish you would have got in the lieutenant governor's race?
No, if I'd have been wishing that, I would have, my friend.
All right.
But I appreciate you asking.
Fair enough.
All right, so the legislative session wrapping up, talk to me, were there any bills that caught your eye, that you hated, that you loved?
Well, there were a number of them that caught my attention. One of them obviously had to do with the closed primaries, and I think that was mishandled from the start, because I think there's a number of people who are for closed primaries, but there's a difference in potted meat and deviled ham. And that's what you saw with this particular legislation. I think it's something that needs some additional attention, but it needs some research, because you're only going to get one shot at it, and you need to make sure that if it becomes law, if it is codified, it needs to make sure it eliminates some of the concerns that other states have had or experienced because of what they've done with their closed primary legislation.
You've run a lot of elections. You've been all over the state. You do all sorts. Every time you run, you go. When you were serving, I think you hit every 67 counties.
I still do.
And
It's 14 years in a row.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
So you're still doing that. You're all over the place. The question I have about this is, you were in the legislature. Did you ever run for re-election? I think
no,
you,
I did
okay,
not.
So you won.
That's
Talk
right.
about the incumbent protection side of the Lomax-Brooks race. Again, I think the Lomax support, dollar support, is incumbent protection. Whoever it is, they're just going to throw the money.
Now, I agree with everything you said earlier in the program, Dale, but this is the thing, and I've told Congressman Brooks this. I've not talked to James about it. Both those guys are friends of mine, but I told Congressman Brooks that I felt like James had made a mistake in his campaign against him. I really felt like James should have come out and said, look, we want to thank Congressman Brooks for his support. We want to thank him for what he's done for Alabama in the decades that he has served the state as the district attorney, as a county commissioner, as a state legislator, and most notably as the congressman for the 5th Congressional District. But if you want to return to that style of leadership and that experience, you need to vote for him. If you want to vote for new energy and new leadership, you need to vote for me. And you communicate that message by going door to door in that district. Not by talking about how Mo Brooks is a sorry no good, because you said this earlier. The people that live in that district, they know Mo Brooks, and that's not going to sell on Mo Brooks in that district.
So let me ask you this: you talk about this, and that is James Lomax just saying, "I'm going to take the L and I'll come back." If he ran that campaign, he's just saying, "I'm going to lose." Right?
I don't know if he would, because when you get out and you visit with people. Because Congressman Brooks is going to work. He's going to go door to door. But if James gets out and work, and then you've got a 72, 74-year-old come to your door, and then you've got a 28, 32-year-old coming to your door and talking to you, and he's got improvements that he's made in the district, and he's got accomplishments that he's been able to produce, it makes people think. And so that puts you in a position to actually wonder.
Let me ask a real quick question.
Real quick.
Election security. You always made that a very high priority.
Easy to vote and hard to cheat.
I love that line. Yes.
How many voters? I'm kidding.
When I left office,
it's an old question. I'm sorry. I'm taking your time. Finish your question.
No, I love that he still knows that, though.
That's right.
Okay, so talk to us about, though, how secure are, because you hear about it, it's always a big headline. How secure are the elections in Alabama?
Well, I still think they're very secure. I think the audit component that was just passed in the legislature was very important. We passed an audit legislation component bill in 2022 that was a pilot, and really felt like the legislature should have examined that. And ultimately, after 4 years, they passed it. So now it's been codified. I think that's a win for Alabama.
There we go. John Merrill, former Secretary of State, now a political analyst, obviously.
A lot of good insights. Thank you.
We appreciate him being here. He's been on this show more than I think almost more than anyone else probably. Mo Brooks probably the most. But let's take a quick time out. When we come back, I've got a parting shot for you. Stay tuned.
You work hard to earn little escapes, because doing your best means being your best. So let us help you discover your best at Premier Dental Spa. With our unique blend of cosmetic, dental, and spa-like aesthetic services, you'll leave feeling relaxed, refreshed, and renewed. Make sure the best you is here to stay, and book your appointment online today at premierdentalspa.com.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for University Kia. This is my son Grant. He's a busy guy. Chess, piano, basketball, wrestling, baseball, you name it. There's probably some stuff that I missed that my wife will be mad about, but here's the thing. It's important to have reliable transportation. My friends at University Kia, they take great care of me. I've been driving Sportages my entire life. My wife drives a Telluride now, and it is the perfect vehicle for the busy family. Folks, University Kia, let them take care of you like they've taken care of my family. That's University Kia. Learn more at universitykia.com.
Tom Grant and Dale Jackson sent you.
Is your garage door unreliable? Is it making weird noises? It may be trying to tell you something. At Elite Door Service, we speak garage door. Simply give us a call or scan this QR code. We'll come out for free and take a look and a listen and give you trustworthy guidance. We can fix it, set you up with a new one, or let you know if we should all run for cover. Elite Door Service LLC, serving all of North Alabama.
Scout Pest Control is your one-stop shop for pest control. We do it all, from rodents to mosquitoes, termites to bedbugs. We offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee on all our services. When you think pest control, think Scout. ScoutPestControl.com.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? There's a tremendous price war among the major term life companies. Rates have dropped dramatically in the past 2 years. For example, a man age 45 non-tobacco user, $1 million of coverage is only $75 per month. Level for the next 10 years. Or a man age 50 non-tobacco user can buy $500,000 of coverage for a monthly premium of only $110. Guaranteed not to change for the next 20 years. That's right, level rates for 20 years. And if you're a smoker, we have great rates for you as well. At the Term Lifeline, we specialize in policies of $500,000 and above. So if you're looking for new or replacement term life insurance, call right now for a free quote.
Rates and availability may vary by state. Sample rate quotes are based on preferred non-tobacco underwriting exam required to qualify.
Call 866-533-1500. That's 866-533-1500. Call 866-533-1500.
Fox 54 Plus is your streaming home for news from the world of sports. Join the Fox 54 sports team for local highlights and insights. Stream Fox 54 Sports Sector anytime on Fox 54 Plus. Live, local, and always on.
Welcome back to Alabama Politics This Week. I am Dale Jackson. We got a great partner shop for you coming up here in just a second. First, though, head on over to YellowHammerNews.com. Sign up for my email blast every single day, Monday through Friday. You will get an email from me with my 7 things delivered directly to you, and you'll know everything you should be talking about that day. That's YellowHammerNews.com. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to the parting shot. My party shot this week is directed at the war on cops. Apparently, there's a lot of discussion about whether there is a war on cops inside the state of Alabama. Jay Mitchell, former Supreme Court Justice, now running for Attorney General, says that there is a war on cops and the Attorney General's office should do more to stop it. Rob Broussard, a Madison County District Attorney, says, hold on, there's a national narrative about a war on cops and defund the police and all this other stuff, and that is true. But inside the state of Alabama, there doesn't really seem to be any evidence that that is going on. And there's a discussion about whether or not some of the cases we've seen recently are because of politics or because maybe the case needs to get before a jury to decide what's going to happen. It's my ruling that there is not really a war on cops inside the state of Alabama. I'm going to have to agree with Rob Broussard of the Madison County DA's office. I think he's right about this, but it doesn't mean this rhetoric will go away anytime soon. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for watching and listening to Alabama Politics This Week, and we'll see you next week.